Sadly, not everyone is like us. At times, we have to deal with people who are quite rude or aggressive. This usually triggers an escalation of tensions, and problems arise and smoulder away under the surface until the next eruption occurs. How can we stop this vicious cycle of downward spiraling emotions? That is what we're going to deal with today. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center here in Akasaka in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. Japan is a crazy place. A pair of hybrid melons from the city of Yubari in Hokkaido fetched a record price of 5 million yen, or $46,000 at the start of the season. This is 2 melons. The melons usually sell between 4,000 yen and 10,000 yen and are given away as seasonal gifts. In other news, Japan was the world's top investor in 2018. This is the 28th consecutive year that Japan has been number one. The net balance of assets held by the Japanese government, companies, and individual investors stood at 341.56 trillion yen, or $3.11 trillion. Germany was second at 260 trillion yen, and China at 236 trillion. Direct investment in the USA by Japan was at a record high of 55.63 trillion yen, or $519 billion. Japan's total overseas investments was also up by 0.5% to reach 1,018 trillion yen, or $9.32 trillion, rising for the 10th straight year. Finally, the government is going to legislate to reduce food waste. Major department store operators, 7-Eleven and Lawson, will start discounting rice balls and lunch boxes that are close to their expiry dates by offering customers enrolled in their loyalty programs special shopping credits worth 5% of the value of purchases. The Japanese government said there was 6.43 million tonnes of waste in 2016, and half of that came from the commercial sector. This is episode number 93, and we're talking about how to deal with the difficult. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. You know you're not perfect, but some of those around you are a real pain to deal with. Why are they so difficult to get on with? Who knows? But the easiest way forward is to reduce the stress to a minimum by avoiding them or minimizing any interactions. I mean, come on. Putting up with these people is exhausting and just wastes a lot of valuable time. That may be true, but in fact, unresolved conflicts, miscommunication, and diminished information exchange leads to even greater time wastage, morale hits, and the bottom line of lost productivity. If your rivals are dealing better with these internal issues than you are, in the end, their team will win in the marketplace. One of the conundrums is defining difficult. It varies so much between individuals and from situation to situation. Nevertheless, we can all recognize trouble immediately when we see it. Can we control other people, especially those we deem difficult? Good luck with that one. We can, however, control ourselves in any situation or relationship. A bit of self-reflection will help to flush out our perceptions, biases, attitudes, behaviours, feelings and communication style that might be fueling conflict. Past situation analysis is a handy tool to plumb the depths of our unhappiness with others. Reflect on a situation where you didn't handle a difficult person well and things rapidly deteriorated. What was the trigger point for you or them? What was the outcome after the confrontation? Is it possible you contributed to the explosion of emotions? What was the biggest lesson you came away with from that meltdown? Additionally, have there been any situations where you did pretty well handling a difficult colleague? What worked? What was the outcome? And what did you learn as a result? A handy helper is the toolbox of dealing with difficult called benefit of the doubt. This means suspending the attractive beliefs that you are right and they are wrong, and you are perfect and they're an idiot. Before allowing the chemical reaction in the body to take over and go into fight or flight mode, mentally just hit the pause button for 6 seconds. What do you know about this person that might be triggering their behaviour that you find upsetting or at least plain annoying? Is there some historical context operating here around the way they were raised and their life experiences they've had and the influences they've absorbed? Is this a communication issue because neither of you are a native speaker of the same language? Keep the pause button on hold for another 6 seconds and think. If there is some situational context in play here, have they scratched the Duco on their new car that morning, had a fight with their partner at home, just been royally chewed out by their boss, etc.? Well, find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become skilled at dealing with people, then sign up for the Dale Carnegie course. Fully road tested for the last 100 years. This course is super popular globally and in Japan too. We've been teaching this for over 50 years here. Improve your ability with people, really ramp up your communication and leadership skills, grow your confidence and end your stress. Contact us to do the Dale Carnegie course now in either Japanese or English. The bestseller, Japan Sales Mastery, is the new Bible of selling in Japan. To sell to Japanese buyers, you need to create long-term partner-level trust, fully understand Japanese buyers' real needs, convince buyers with your solutions, overcome their hesitation, fear and doubt, know how to ask for the order, ensure repeat orders. This book is a product of 30 plus years in the trenches selling in Japan. Order Japan Sales Mastery now. Welcome back. If you really want to learn how to do better with people, then the Dale Carnegie course is a wonderful program to help you do just that. This is a 12-week program that really improves communication, leadership, people skills. The next Japanese language program will start on September 18th. There is also a 3-day immersion version available starting on August the 22nd. The next 12-week program in English will commence on September 26th. Details can be found at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Back to the show. When we take a breath and pause, we can have better control over how we react to them rather than letting the chemical surge take over. There are some useful human relations principles we can apply to move us into a positive mental framework. Instead of telling others what they need to do to fly straight, we can swap in some questions instead. What led them to reach that conclusion? What experience has led them to believe their idea is the best solution? The hard bit is biting our tongue after we've asked the question so that we don't cut them off and jump in with our own shiny insight. Instead, hear them out and ask follow-up questions. This now allows us to better understand what is driving the disagreement or their behaviour. Letting them save face is a handy idea. Our egos can, lock us into positions we don't fully hold because we don't want to be seen as backing down. We can take the ego bit out of the equation by how we communicate during the interaction. Being polite, reasonable and open goes a long way to reaching a resolution. We might even disarm them with praise and honest appreciation for raising their countervailing views with us. When they know there is likely to be a disagreement, they mentally gear up for battle. By not providing a target, there is no battle. We could thank them for being forthright and candid. We might mention some mistakes we've made in the past and how we have resolved to do a better job of educating ourselves, and thank them for widening our range of viewpoints. There's nothing more disconcerting than trying to argue with someone who doesn't argue back, but instead praises you. Hardcore, difficult types may still try to get a rise out of us because they need to have a fight. But let's not fall for that one. Instead, get them talking about the way they came to their conclusion, where they've seen this work well in the past. Smiling, silence is our best defense as we get them to do the talking. Difficult people are only difficult if we allow them to annoy us. When we take the high road, they often just run out of gas because we are not supplying the fuel for the fight. This is the verbal Aikido approach of not conforming or resisting attacks, but redirecting the energy along a path of our own choosing. Superior human relation skills are a powerful ally in dealing with the difficult, but these need practice and discipline. Try using these ideas and life will get a whole lot easier. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in business in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube, share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember, hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now. enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Awesome value, so please take a look. Also, please leave us some feedback on YouTube. I would love to know how this show helped and, what other topics you're interested in for me to cover. I'm here as a free resource to help you, so just tell me, how can I help you the best? You might also enjoy my podcast. Look for the Leadership Japan series, the Presentations Japan series, and the Sales Japan series, wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, the next Dale Carnegie course in Japanese language will be running starting September 18. The 3-day immersion version is available starting on August 22nd, and the next 12-week Dale Carnegie course program in English will commence on September 26th. Details can be found at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. In episode 94, we were talking about the 400-face presentation. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.